as good as watching Jake Paul get his ass handed to him.
Oh, I've watched that so many times today.
Leah or Liam, I'm not sure. Just tell me. How old are you, please?
I'm 20.
Is it Liam?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. And why won't you validate transgender identities?
Oh, I mean, they just, do you want to do men or women?
I'm talking about
Let's
transgender
do men because we
Sure,
never
yeah.
do men.
Great. Yeah, they just wouldn't fit into my definition of a man.
Which is?
What's your definition of a man?
Adult human male.
Okay. What's your definition of a male?
Of denoting the production of small gametes.
Okay. And if a male presenting person does not denote that way, what then?
A male presenting person or a male person?
I would say a male presenting person because there are males who do not. Sorry, Artie, were you going to say something, love?
I was going to say that two things. Siggy just popped into the live, but also denoting is going to be in a colloquial sense, not in a scientific sense.
I'm so happy because he's here.
Yeah. So like Liam, so like you saying denoting, like that's just going to be something that would be used like societally. So something that we would use to describe anything scientific.
Oh, then why's that the objective definition of male?
There's no such thing as an objective definition.
Could you give me another definition of male?
Do you know what objective
Yes.
means?
Yeah.
What does objective mean?
Yeah, it means that, factually, everyone would adhere to it.
No.
That's not what objective means at all.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Objective is typically going to mean mind independent. So existing outside of someone's mind. And
So factual.
And no, definitions are made up by people, which means you need a mind to have a definition. So all definitions are subjective.
Yeah, I'll grab a source real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so you agree that definitions are subjective?
Sure.
Right. Okay, continue, Ari or Al.
Hold on. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so if you are in a room with a trans man, say that looks like Katie, or a trans woman who, say, looks like me. Hold on.
Okay.
Who would you choose if you had to pick one of us that you wanted to take on a date? Who would you choose?
Oh, I wouldn't be very comfortable with that. I have a partner.
Okay. Take yourself out of that for a second. This is a hypothetical.
I mean, no offense, but you're both a tad too old for me.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
He's not wrong. I'm never.
I'm definitely too old for him. I agree.
I got a source. So this is coming from Merriam-Webster specifically about how we actually are to utilize dictionaries. So if we define a word, it does not mean that we have approved or sanctioned it. The role of the dictionary is to record use of a language, not to regulate it. If we do not offer a definition for a word, that does not necessarily mean that the word is not real. Some words are omitted because they are too obscure or specialized, or they do not have a solidified meaning, or yet unknown to us. Just as inclusion in a dictionary does not confer status. This goes on and on to talk about the fact that we just use a dictionary to talk about how we have socially defined a word. It does not mean that this does not change or that it can't be different over time.
Right. So, would you have another definition of male?
Of male,
or would you have
or
your
of
own
man?
definition of male?
Male or
you guys
man?
asked me for male. You
I'm
can do both if you'd like.
pretty sure Al asked you about man, and then we went into
No, it's
male.
male.
Originally, I did ask him about man, and he said adult human male. And I said, okay, what is your definition of male?
Yeah, and then we delved into the male side of things.
Yeah, I don't.
So I would say I mean, I don't really particularly care about the definitions of male or female. I would rather talk about gender.
Oh, okie dokie. So what's your definition of a man?
A man, an adult human being whose gender identity aligns with their schema of the male sex.
Schema?
Hmm.
As in gender expression?
No.
What would you mean by schema?
Schema is not to do with gender expression at all. Schemas are like psychological tools, which is basically act as an outline and a mind map of all of the information that you use to recognize things. So all of your information around female, which is used to recognize females in society, we separate that creates gender because of the fact that the traits that we associate to be able to recognize females aren't typically inherent and exclusive to females.
Oh, okay. So I guess the main I guess qualifier of your schema would be femininity.
No.
Well, a schema would be your own the most basic way I could explain the schema of female would be an individual's own personal concept of femininity.
Right. But sorry, Artemis said the schema, not their own schema.
No, Artemis said their schema.
I said their schema
Oh.
of the male sex.
Yeah, schemas are
Oh, my fault.
individualized.
I misheard you.
Like schemas are individualized. There's no such thing as like a collective schema. A schema is something that an individual has.
Great. So, Katie, what would your schema be towards the gender that you'd lean towards more?
Okay, well, I'm non-binary. I'm neither man or woman, and that's because I don't recognize myself in either of those social groups.
Would you have any type of schema at all?
I mean, yeah, I have a lot of information to do with women or men. Men typically taller, men typically have broader shoulders, men typically carry themselves a bit more like, I don't know, what the correct word I'm looking for is. I don't know, men are typically more direct. I get told that because I'm direct, I'm masculine quite often. Women typically softer features, things like that. There's a lot. I couldn't tell you my entire schema because schemas are an unconscious process. Like we don't choose what information we put into them.
So, wouldn't those sorry, you said for men. Isn't it possible a woman can possess those characteristics?
What characteristics? The
You
the
know,
ones that I
the broad
associate.
shoulders.
Yeah, it's possible.
Do you also realize that society tells us that women cannot?
Yeah, society
Do
does.
those things.
Can I just specify the fact that it doesn't matter if women can have those characteristics because it's to do with how you align with your own schema. So it doesn't matter if women align with my schema of women. That doesn't matter.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to negate that at all. I was just
No,
more
I know.
adding on to the
I was
fact
specifying
Yeah.
for you.
that in society, women are told that they are not allowed to be these things. So society is contributing to the break off of what a social schema is, right? Just by doing the things that particularly men, but some women like to do as well, is by telling women that they have to look and act a certain way to be a woman.
Mhm. So, I guess what I'm getting from this is I guess your sole justification for transgender validation in regards to gender would be that gender is a social construct, right?
That would be part of it. But
Would
that
it not
wouldn't.
be the main part of it?
Not really. The main part of it would be the way that people experience their own gender identities. The main part of it would be that alignment of the schema.
Does that not all lead back to it being a social construct?
I mean, it's related to it, I guess.
I mean, if my schema is different to yours, and I now identify as a woman, um, I guess from my point of view, it would be because gender is a social construct.
Yeah, that would be part of it, but the reason a person would be a woman would be because their schema aligns with their experience of themselves.
Sure, but
Do you want to make your?
how,
I feel like you think that me saying it's a social construct is going to get you somewhere. So let's just say sure.
no, I mean, I guess if I know you're not claiming that that's the sole qualifier, but that's sort of all I'm able to get right now.
Do you think that it's
Would
not a
you?
social construct?
No, no, of course it is.
Okay.
My issue with that is if your sole justification for it is that it's a social construct, would you not have to treat all social constructs as the same way
That's
in
kind
regards
of
to identification?
that's kind of why I don't think I don't think that's the main part of my argument at all. You know, based on the fact that you brought it up and not me, it's probably not the main part of my argument.
I
And
would
and
like to
also no,
know.
I don't think that there's any reason to treat all social constructs as if they're the same, because social constructs are really, really varied. Like money is a social construct, law is a social construct that obviously doesn't function in the same way that a categorization system like gender functions.
I did say in regards to identity.
Sorry? All
I
social
did say at the
constructs
end
in
of that
regard
in regards to identity.
well, all social constructs in regards to identity.
Well, no, I can't identify as a dollar bill.
Okay, I don't understand what you're saying.
He's operating under the assumption that all social constructs have the same regulation and the same rules, but they don't.
Yeah.
Money
No, I'm
operates
just
on a completely different construction than gender does. Same thing as language. Language is a social construct, operates completely different.
right. So, I guess in regards to your own self identity, there are quite a few social constructs, right? Would you treat those similarly to how you treat gender?
It depends
On what?
on the particulars of the social construct that we're talking about.
Sure. Would you treat race the same?
No,
Why not?
because race would be about external claims, so it would be about external features.
Such as?
Phenotype and inheritance.
Is sex and gender not conjunctive?
No. Sex would be about phenotype. Gender, especially gender identity, is about an internal experience of self.
Would you say that sex and gender are mildly, not at all, or completely conjunctive?
What do you mean by conjunctive? They're correlated.
Similar, the same.
They share a correlation.
So mildly conjunctive.
Sure.
Why would they share a correlation?
Because I would say that gender is gender is the social categories that we've created around sex that are not inherent to them.
I would also say that I would also say that sex wasn't really understood until the last 200 years or so, and that's being generous. I'd say gender's been used most throughout society.
Okay. So, going back to race, you said it's different because of phenotype and what else?
I said it was different because it's based on external features, not internal, and it's phenotype and inheritance.
Inheritance. Sorry, what do you mean by inheritance?
Well, we would say that a person's race is inherited through their family.
Not always.
Can you give me a circumstance where it's not?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so race is typically most of the time or like 99% of the time based on phenotype. But what if, for example, a black man, right, has black parents, and that black man is albino?
Well,
Would he
that's
not,
why
in some way,
that's why I said it's inheritance and phenotype, not one exclusively.
not one exclusively?
Yeah.
But do you not think there's a single black, white, or any other race that wouldn't possess, I guess, the inheritance or the phenotype?
I don't think so. That's why I asked you for an example of when that would be true.
Yeah, so I guess if a black man has a like albinoism, or I don't know if it's albinoism, but I'll
Right.
just say a black albino man, or a black man with vitiligo,
Mhm.
um,
He doesn't have the
would
phenotype,
tip,
but he would have the inheritance.
So vitiligo can grow and shrink in different ways. I don't understand why you would bring that up. Also,
I just
like,
think that you're ignoring part of my argument because you've never heard it before, because it is there and you're just ignoring it. I keep telling you that it's neither one or the other, but inheritance is also a feature of race. This is how we constructed race. It's something we
how are they inheriting? How would
I
they
mean,
inherit
I
their
think
race?
legally specifically, I believe that it was something about um it had something like 4 generations. If you go 4 generations back, that would still be categorized as your race legally at one point, I believe.
Right.
my race is such a poor construct.
Yeah, it's super arbitrary and honestly a ridiculous concept for human beings to have made up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't exist. But
I wouldn't say it doesn't exist. It very clearly exists because we constructed it.
mm, I mean, I suppose so. Um, but yeah, if I'm kind of stuck on this. How can someone who doesn't possess the phenotype inherit the race if that would be how we
Be-
see them?
Because it's inherited through their parents.
Yeah,
Like
could I give an example?
we view it as something that is part of you through your inheritance.
I
But
can
the only
also
thing you can inherit is the melanin.
No, this is not okay. You're not understanding inheritance. So just because someone has like a mutation within their genetics that would lead to albinoism does not mean that if they themselves have children, that those children wouldn't display melanated like skin of a black person. This is what inheritance is referencing. Just because the phenotype is not expressing it does not mean that you haven't inherited it.
And I think that you're saying that the only thing you can inherit is melanin, as if I'm speaking like genetically, but that's not what I mean through inheritance. I mean that this is a phenomenon through which we have said, if you have parents of this race, you inherit this race. You are grouped into that category. That's how we constructed the concept to be.
According to who?
The people that constructed race as a construct.
So they said
Society.
you inherit.
Yes, that's why. Have you ever heard the term transracial? It's an actual real term. Do you know what it refers to?
Yeah, I've heard it's quite a ridiculous term.
What do you think it
I
refers
don't-
to?
Yeah, that's
Well, it refers to for example, like white people who think they're black.
Nope.
That's not what it refers to.
What does it refer to?
It refers to people who are adopted into a family of a different race than them because we view race as inherited.
Oh, they I don't know. I mean, how would that fit? The
I can
trans aspect. Where's the
pull this.
incongruence?
No, that's not what trans means. My goodness gracious. Trans means on the other side of. It doesn't mean incongruence.
Yeah, it's a prefix. It's like how transparent doesn't mean an incongruence either. Like,
Transatlantic slave trade was just an incongruence, guys.
yeah. So trans race is specifying that the person who is adopted into the family's race is not aligned with the race of the people who adopted them.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, how's that relevant?
What do you mean? How's that relevant?
It's just like how
How's that relevant to
transgender.
inherited race?
Because of the fact that you inherit it through your family. So if you're adopted into a different family, we refer that person may be referred to as a transracial adoptee because they inherit a different race from their adoptive parents than the race they've inherited from their biological parents. How are you not understanding the relevance of that?
Well, I mean, it just sounds false to me.
Oh, why?
Well, because we would still phenotypically determine that person to be black, not white.
Yeah, socially we would probably categorize them more primarily off of phenotype, but that doesn't mean that we completely negate the inherited aspect and the aspect of culture within race.
So you're telling me you're going to call a black man adopted by a white family white?
No, I would say that he is a transracial adoptee if that person was comfortable with them being referred to that way. If they prefer not to refer to themselves that way, I wouldn't do it. I'm just telling you what the term was initially coined to refer to because of how race
So
is founded.
if they were comfortable with both, which one would you choose to identify them as?
I would ask them what their preference was, and
Yeah,
otherwise,
it wouldn't be up to us.
I'm probably still going to refer to them as black if they have the phenotype because their social experiences are going to be more in line with being black than being white, but their family experiences are probably going to be different than if they had had black parents.
So you think black people can be white?
No, I think that black people can be adopted into white families and inherit aspects of that race through that.
They can grow
No,
up
but you said
with.
if they were comfortable being called white, you would do that.
No, I didn't. I said I would call them a transracial adoptee.
Yeah, or if they were comfortable with being called white,
I
you would
didn't say that I
identify them
would.
as such.
No, I wouldn't.
Is there any way we could get a rollback?
That's
Because
not
that's
what.
definitely what I heard.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that your hearing's bad.
Are you accusing me of having schizophrenia?
Also, I think
What?
I also think
No,
that
Al, don't. I'm sorry, don't do that. I'm sorry. Me saying that I'm sorry that your hearing's bad relates to schizophrenia. How?
No, you said I'm sorry that you're hearing stuff.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, it is.
No,
The
it's not.
gaslighting is
I
crazy.
said I'm sorry that your hearing's bad.
The gaslighting is insane.
Yeah, it is actually. You're right. It's definitely insane.
Wait, so why do you think black people can be white?
I don't. I think that they can be a transracial adoptee and be adopted into a white family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? I really do genuinely feel like I didn't stick to the script that you're used to because I'm actually like fairly decently educated and you don't like that and now you don't know what to say, so you're just trying to get me to say that black people are white for some reason.
The script that I'm used to? Are you calling your fellow TRA stupid?
No?
Well, you said it's the script that I'm used to because you're fairly educated. TRA, yes.
Yeah, I think that there are.
he's saying he's a transracial adoptee.
I think that there are.
You don't know what TRA means.
No, I know what it means. I just don't know why you're prescribing it to us.
Listen, Liam.
Well, you're not a
I've
TRA?
seen you.
You're a
Liam,
GC?
I'm talking to you. Liam, I'm talking
I'm
to you.
neither of these, by the way.
What's a
Who are
TRA?
you?
A trans
A trans rights
activist.
Or advocate.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, Liam, I've seen you in enough spaces and seen you be all kinds of bigoted to know how absolutely disingenuous you're being right now. And I've
Well,
sat
everyone's a
so
bigot.
quietly. Shut up, Liam. I've
Everyone's
sat
a
so
bigot.
quietly and silently because I've seen you're not even allowed in my space anymore because that's how
I
awful
don't
you
even
are.
know who
You
you
got
are.
removed. No, I know because this isn't the count I go live on. Sweet cheeks.
I'm sure I
See,
wouldn't
here's the
remember you
thing.
either way.
Is you are atrocious. I watch you get dropped from so many panels
Yeah,
because
because
you
I
are
asked
just
tricky
a terrible
questions.
human being. No, you're just a terrible
Also,
human. You're
tell me
just
how.
a
Tell
no.
me what I've said.
Okay.
I don't need to waste that kind of energy on you.
Also, you have no words. You have no words.
No, I have lots of them, just not for
Also, it
you.
never happened because you have no recollection.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But we're the ones gaslighting, right, Liam? Right? You
Oh,
do
I
like to
never
talk about
mentioned
body
you, but
count a lot,
if you
though.
feel not included, then
Oh no, I'd really rather not. That's why you're not allowed in my space anymore.
Can we not do
well,
this?
I really don't know who you
Yeah,
are.
Sorry.
guys, please stop. Please stop. Please
Yeah,
stop. The
this
host is
is
setting a
not
boundary.
what I want to be doing. Liam, are you able to like have an actual conversation that actually takes into account what I'm saying, or are you just going to stick to the point that you think that I think white people can be white for some reason?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you're in regards to self-identity, you say race. Race is different because of both inheritance and phenotype.
Because these are what? What did I actually say?
Because it's inheritance and phenotype.
No, I
Because
said I said those are two things I said, but what I said is it's different because race is based on external features.
external, not internal features, yes.
Right. Gender identity, I'm talking about an internal experience.
Is it always internal?
The experience of gender identity, yes.
So gender expression doesn't exist, right?
Gender expression isn't gender identity.
Do you... so gender affirming care isn't real?
No, gender affirming care and gender expression are two other things that are to do with gender, but neither of them are gender identity.
Do you feel like a trans man would feel better if he used gender affirming care?
Maybe,
I think it,
not necessarily.
I think that would depend on the trans man.
Majoritively?
No, not necessarily.
No? So most trans men express themselves as women, sorry?
No, but not all trans men grow up and don't align with their schema. There are plenty of trans men who grow up a lot more aligned with their schema than, say, a trans man like me, who doesn't at this point.
Why not?
Like, for example, I'm a non-binary person. I've never received any gender affirming care, and I don't think that I need it.
How come?
So what was your point with that? Because again, gender affirming care and gender expression are two things that correlate to gender. They are aspects of gender. They're not gender identity though, which is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So the reason I said this, I think gender identity can be to some extent external, especially when you're talking about transgender people, right?
Sorry, can you
I
define
believe most
can you define gender identity then?
gender identity,
Mhm.
yeah, would be the gender that you'd feel most comfortable identifying with.
Sorry, that's completely circular
How's it circular?
because you use gender and identity in the definition for gender identity. So how am I supposed to know what those two words mean?
I mean, I can rephrase it, but it'll just mean the same thing.
How?
What do you mean, how?
So hold on a second. You think that if I say a woman is someone who identifies as a woman, that's circular, right?
Well, yeah.
Right. So when you say gender identity is how someone experiences their gender identity, that's circular also.
No, I said it's the gender that it's the gender that someone would be most comfortable identifying as.
Right. Using identify and gender in
Yeah.
the definition of gender identity. So not telling me what that means at all. Imagine
Okay.
if that's like
Um,
me saying a woman is someone who identifies most comfortably with women. See how that's the same and they're both circular as fuck?
great, that's fine. I'll paraphrase it if that makes you feel better. Um, yeah. So, gender identity. That would be sorry, 2 seconds. Gender identity would be how someone would be most comfortable. Can I say identify? It's not
No.
identity.
Yeah, but you do see how it is a direct derivative of that word.
No, not really.
What's an identity?
An identity? Like, seriously? Are you gonna keep asking me definitions?
If you keep giving me circular ones, yeah,
In my definition of identity, are you going to ask me for a definition of a word that I included in that sentence?
possibly. I need to understand what you're
Possibly.
saying, right?
So we're just gonna be living in Groundhog Day?
I mean, you can ask me to define words, and I'm actually able to do it without it being circular. So could you just
Oh, okay.
define it without it
Define
being
race.
circular? Define race? I would say that's actually, do you know what? Interesting. Social categories of people pertaining to their phenotype and aspects of inherited culture. There could
Why are
probably
you
be more.
typing?
There could probably be more. I was unlocking my iPad because I would like to see actually how it is defined because I don't know the exact definition of race.
But you told me you'd have no problem.
I said that you can ask me to define words and they won't be circular, and I did
Which would imply
not.
that you'd have no problem.
Does it
No, they
imply
didn't
no?
really.
So I also didn't at any point say I can define words without using a dictionary. Like I never agreed to that. Also, I would like you to not pivot and keep talking about gender and not race because you really, really, really want me to be like, yeah, black people can be white for some reason. Like you want me to be doing that, and I'm just not, and you don't like it.
Well, you asked me to ask you to define a word.
I didn't ask you. I said you could ask me.
Yeah, you invited it. You welcomed it.
Yes, I thought that you would ask a word related to the conversation.
Oh, well, I can if you'd like.
I would love that, please.
Great. um, yeah, so define gender affirming care.
Gender affirming care. That could be psychological or social or medical interventions uh, used to help a person align their experienced gender identity with their expressed gender.
Oh, you said gender twice there. That's circular.
Yes, because you're asking me to define an entire concept, not the singular word. So if you'd like me to get even more specific, I can. We can say that I might have to write this down because it's going to get very wordy, right? So give me a second. Bear with me. So you want me to define each word singularly or the entire concept as a whole?
Dealer's choice.
Okay, well, the entire concept as a whole, right? Gender affirming care. So we'll break it down. We'll break it down. You might understand it easier that way. So gender is going to refer to the social categories that we typically correlate with male and female that are not inherent into them and all of the aspects involved in that. It's also pertaining to a person's psychological experience of their own sex, which is going to be regarding gender identity specifically. So when we're talking about gender affirming care, we're looking at affirming, so validating, aligning, helping someone accept, become comfortable with, care, medical, social, psychological actions to assist someone in aligning their psychological experience of their sex and their expression socially of their sex. You understand now?
Yeah, I mean it's all easy enough when you look up the definition.
This is what's on my iPad. It's my note app, and the only thing I actually wrote down was gender affirming, and then it says car because I forgot to put an E on the end of care. So yeah, you're right. It's really easy when I am educated.
Ooh. Are you calling me uneducated?
On this topic, yes.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I can admit, you have some interesting points. Um, I'm not exactly privy to them because they're quite unique from what the other TRAs would usually say.
Oh, I'm not a
I'm not
TRA.
going to say
I
I have a.
still don't know why you keep saying that. I use the term transracial correctly as it was coined to be used to refer to, I'm sorry,
It means trans rights activist.
trans rights activist? Someone said transracial. Sorry. Okay, trans rights activist. Yeah, great. I'm a trans rights activist. And
I
Yeah.
so you were anticipating a script, right?
No, I mean, I wasn't exactly anticipating a script. It's just, I'm not exactly privy to these new talking points.
That's because we don't operate under this weird ass framework of we only talk to people on TikTok.
I don't only talk to people on TikTok.
Yeah, I think
TRA it only exists on TikTok.
yeah, I think the concept that you're running into is probably, I think, and this is a problem. I'm not saying that everyone is uneducated in this area, but this is a problem in specifically the debate community where people focus on learning how to debate the argument and not about actually learning the information. I've studied sociology, I've studied psychology, I know the information.
Wait, so this whole time it wasn't a debate?
No, it is a debate, but what I'm saying is there is a common aspect for debaters to only learn the argument, which is a bad way to go about debating a topic.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So if you want to debate, you got to get both sides of the story, right?
That's still not what I mean. If you want to debate, you need to understand how the information you're talking about applies in different contexts, not only how to say it as an argument.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I'll do some research. I'm not too proud to admit that. Um. Well, I wouldn't exactly say I'm conceding, but I'm not too proud to admit that you're probably more educated on these talking points than I am. Um. But yeah. I guess you guys have a good night.
Have the night that you deserve.